A Tuesday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the manager with Pete Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. I hope your Tuesday is off to a fantastic start. Some pretty good news for LSU last night, at least on the surface. So, we know LSU is in search of a quarterback for the 2023 recruiting class. And there's a local prospect who is back on the market. So Ricky Collins from Ricky Collins from Woodlawn has decommitted from Purdue. And I know I've mentioned this before, but I saw Ricky Collins play last year against Catholic at Memorial. It was the only game that I saw Woodlawn play. And keep in mind, Catholic's a roster full of dudes that are going to go play D1 football and won a state championship. Ricky Collins was a one-man wrecking crew. They could not stop that kid. 6'2", 190. He's a 4-star. He's ranked number 177 nationally, the 13th best quarterback in the country, 12th best player in Louisiana. I'm telling you, I don't care about rankings and all that sort of stuff. I watch that dude play. He's a dude. You watch enough high school football over the years. I'm not sitting here telling you that I could pick a prospect and go, oh, well, that guy's got really good feet, and you give him 2 years, he could develop into. I'm not a scout, but there are times where you can look at a game, and when everybody kind of is playing to the same level, and then it looks like there's a kid playing a different game altogether. That was that kid. So he's a major college prospect, and supposedly after the decommit from Purdue, he's high on LSU now. And that would be the quarterback for this class if they're able to get him. So we could talk in more detail if they're able to flip him and you'll get a commitment from him and ultimately have him signed. But I would love it if they got that kid. It it fits the mold of what Brian Kelly wants. You get sort of a dual threat quarterback, a guy that could throw it and run, which they want. Local kid, which of course they're trying to put the fence around the state, all that sort of stuff. So, honestly, I think I would take Ricky Collins over Eli Holstein if you gave me the option. I would. Now, Arch, I think, is different because you're talking about just a transcendent type player that you build an offense around that kid. But I would take Collins over Holstein. It's not to say Holstein's a bad player. I'm just that bullish on this kid. He's that good. So anyway, so that was good news. Ricky Collins decommitted from Purdue. Looks like he might be now an LSU lean. And then also Tyrann Mathieu remains absent. We talked about it yesterday on AFR. I know that there's two schools of fans right now. Some fans are just totally freaking out, and then some fans are like, "Hey man, just give him space, let him figure it out." And both are, I think, perfectly okay and legitimate. So I'm not seeing all the comments. Sorry, on Facebook. Anyway, there we go. Sorry. But I tend to fall in the I'm a little concerned group. You're not freaking out, but I'm concerned for sure. So, okay, let's say some good mornings. Let me know what you got. We'll fire away here. Ryan, Amanda Guidry, good morning. Chase Pellegrin, Jeff McKithen, Kelly Presley, Richard Dukin, good morning. Patrick Berglass, Randy Bennett. What's going on? Brian Wynn, good to see y'all this morning. Weston Weaver, Tim Gotridge, you see the clip of Penning and Turner battling in camp. Looks like Penning got under his skin a little bit. So, Tim, I said this yesterday in AFR. Tell me if you agree. Trevor Penning I think the way I said it is like he's the 6'4", 320-pound Northern Iowa offensive line version of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He's the guy that you love him when he's on your team, and you hate him if he's not. It's not that he's a dirty player. It's just that he's a physical player. He is going to finish blocks. He's going to play through the whistle. He's largely going to annoy and bother and pester the people who he's blocking on a given day. What he did to Peyton Turner is the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson version or is the offensive line version of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson making the dude from the Bears like closed fist punch him with a helmet on. That's basically what he did. So I love it. I love that guy's on my team. Trivia Carter, good morning. Wendell Norman Spurge, what's up? Ryan Rogers, Cliff Nelson, good morning. Landra Lewis, James Metvin, good morning. Taylor Castagnier. Matt, what's more likely to happen first? Mike Denbrock gets a new job and Joe Sloan gets promoted, or Sloan gets hired as an OC? Probably Sloan gets hired. Denbrock at this point, I don't know if this is fair, but Denbrock is 58. So I don't know if at 58, guys are usually, oh God, it is dark and thundering. Wow. At 58, guys are usually looking for their first head coaching job. And he's never been a head coach. So he's been a tight ends coach he's been an assistant coach his entire career. Maybe the best comp would be someone like Brent Venables, who is 51, just got his first head coaching job. Sam Pittman is 60 and is now in entering year three at Arkansas. So there's a little bit of a comp there with Pittman. It would have to kind of be that right situation. But I'll tell you this about Denbrock. Denbrock has he's got a young family. He's got young kids. Let's see if they list their ages. So he has one child. That's right. He and his wife have one child, and it's a young child. He's a young child, like in elementary school. I know this because they're going to St. Jude. A lot of the coaches' kids are going to St. Jude, where Erica works. So probably not. I would imagine looking to pick up and move again after this spot where you're making seven figures and you just picked up your family and moved after 5 years in Cincinnati. It's just probably not long way to answer your question, Taylor. I think Joe Sloan would be the next, the one more likely to get a new job. Peter Finner, good morning. Craig Dugas, morning. Lots of stuff. Trivia Carter, because Facebook is trash. I can see them now, trivia. But the little bar that usually lets me scroll is gone, so I have to do it manually. Hey, Dad, good morning. Stephen Fry, Matt Godwin. Any news on Josh Day from Missouri? He did sign. He signed, I think, 2 days ago. So, yes, Josh Day signed. That's the other thing I probably could have put here in the description. Carter Young, if you missed it, did, in fact, sign with the Orioles. So, shortstop from Vanderbilt who had transferred to LSU was taken in the 17th round, and ultimately the Orioles came and gave him $1.35 million. So he signed with Baltimore. That's very disappointing. On Friday, Jay Johnson announced his 5 transfers. So they would not have put out the release if they didn't think or know or have assurances that all those guys were coming. But then right at the last minute, Baltimore came in, gave Carter Young $1.35 million. So that does ding your infield a little bit. Remember, you'd signed Young and Pineda. Well, Pineda signed, and now Carter Young signed. Thank goodness you got Gavin Guidry on campus. So your shortstop, second base combo, your middle infield next year is Jordan Thompson, Gavin Guidry. I mean, that's done. Third base, they'll probably work Tommy White there some. I think they will absolutely know that Gavin Dugas is going to work some at second base. And if Gavin Dugas can be your everyday second baseman, than Guidry and Thompson playing the left side of the infield. So that's disappointing, man. They thought Carter Young was showing up, and that was a last minute pulled the rug out from underneath you. That stinks. Chase Pellegrin is our infield now a concern. So Chase, no, let's keep some context here, okay? You still got Trey Morgan who can play first. You could play Dugas at second, and then your left side could be Guidry and Thompson. You could try White at third, keep Morgan at first, and your middle infield is Guidry and Thompson. You've got options, and more importantly, you've got a ton of offense. So maybe what just got hurt a little bit is your depth. You don't have as many options, but you have enough guys that can play the infield that you're going to be able to make this work, and you're still going to score a bajillion runs. So would I love to have Carter Young? Absolutely. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. Tyler McClendon, Randy Bennett, good morning. I am not seeing LSU sign a quarterback this year. Randy, you're high. With all due respect, you're high. You sign a quarterback in every class now. They're going to sign a quarterback. So, yes, they're going to sign a quarterback. And it's likely going to be Ricky Collins. I don't mean to be disrespectful at all, but there is no reason ever for any school ever to go a class ever without signing a quarterback, ever. And in a completely blind luck twist, Ed Ogeron in 2018 botched that class, didn't get a quarterback, which necessitated going into the transfer portal to get a quarterback, and they landed Joe Burrow, so who got beaten out for the job at Ohio State. So that worked out, clearly. But let's be real. Reagan Lee, so with Pineda and Young gone, do we try to get Day signed? Let's see. Shelby Kelly, I love the nastiness the Saints have as an identity right now. Scrappy is a term typically used to describe less talented hard workers that makes things happen. This team is talented but has that edge. Richard, heck yeah. Today's my daughter's Alessandra's 15th birthday. She gets to start off listening to you all headed to the gym. Best day off. Well, happy birthday, Alessandra. I'm guessing I'm saying it correctly. Alessandra. Hope you have an awesome 15th birthday. And good for you getting to the gym on summer break here early in the morning. I think we could all learn a lesson from you with that one. So hope it's an awesome 15th, Alessandra. Kelly Groves, Shelby Kelly, is there a website for the portal? Place where we can go look through everyone in the portal. 247 Sports, it keeps a portal page. In baseball, D1 Baseball has a portal page. I think it's behind their paywall, though. Just a heads up. Brian bumped Arsenault. Infield will be a lot better with the arms we will have on the mound. Yeah, the arms are going to be stupid. Like, they're fine. They're going to be fine. Kirk Taylor, Barry Day. Is it too late to add a shortstop in the portal? I don't think you're going to add another shortstop, Barry, because I don't know why a shortstop would choose LSU at this point when you've got Guidry and Thompson. And keep in mind the deadline to enter the portal and be immediately eligible has already passed. So if someone entered the portal now and wanted to transfer, it'd be immediately eligible. They would have to be a graduate. Kirk, house inspection yesterday, everything was good. Fantastic. Congrats, guys. Thomas Bergeron, what's going on? Sam Dixon, good to hear about Collins. You had to think they'd never stop working. Oh, for sure. For sure. Especially whenever, some of the other quarterback targets on your board, picked other schools. Like they were in on like Dante Moore. They were on Rashada, like some of the big national guys. And when you didn't land those guys, Collins is in your backyard. I mean, you gotta keep that kid. Jason Austin, I know you're high on Ricky Collins. Can you tell us about him, and does LSU land him? So I do not know if LSU lands him. I'm going to assume that, keep in mind, y'all, I tell you this often. I do not follow recruiting. Like, I'm not calling kids. I'm not calling high school coaches. I'm not calling their parents, see which way they're leaning. That's not what I do. I do not do that. I don't care. Let me rephrase that. While I always understand the importance of recruiting, it's the lifeblood of a program, I am not ever going to spend my time chasing recruits and what their decision is. Around signing day, I'll always let you know what you need. I'll know what I need to know around signing day, always. I saw Collins play last year once, and I'm just telling you, he was going up against a defense that was phenomenal, won a state championship, had D1 players on it, and they couldn't stop him. When you hear the old, like, he willed his team to victory, a lot of times you'll see that in, like, basketball where a guy can take over a game. It's rare in football that one player can take over a game. I mean, like, he'd sprint to the edge, break a tackle, spin off a dude, sprint down the sideline, but I mean, just wouldn't go down. He's a dynamic player. He's dynamic, man. Like, I'm excited. I would be very excited about him if they land Ricky Collins. John Morris, will LSU win 8 games? John, I think so. That's my pick. I think they'll go 8-4. I think they'll go 4-4 in the league, beat Florida State, win their other non-conference games, and go 4-4. Go 8-4. Quentin Brakebill, Chase Pellegrin. Let's not forget about the Newt news. Yep, that's good news for LSU. Lawrence Corbin, good morning. Yeah, Jaden Newt did not sign. He's a right-handed pitcher from the state of California. He was the number 1 right-handed pitcher in California. Brett DeGrow, good morning, Matt. MLB trade deadline today. Could be wild. Hope the Braves make splash. Tim Gotro, Brad David, do you think Napier will do well at Florida? I do, Brad, because, well, first of all, I think Billy Napier's a good coach. And he has mobilized their boosters, and that Florida collective is well funded, and I think that they're going to be able to get good players. How long will it take him to get them back rolling again? I don't know, but yeah. Rapid batches, what's good? Let's see. Whoops. Ryan Rogers, do you think the Yankees make a move today? Made one yesterday. I'm pretty excited about it too. Trivia Carter, in the last 4 days, Facebook has sent me over 27 people you might know alerts. Hey man, Facebook is trying to compete right now with TikTok. For the first time in its existence, they have a very real threat, which is why Facebook and Instagram are integrating more vertical video. I don't know if you'll notice, but like Reels on Facebook and Instagram will give you organic reach, which is why you're starting to see more of that. The short form vertical video, like they are integrating that to try to compete with TikTok. I mean, the last time there was kind of a moment like this was when Snapchat was gaining tremendous popularity, and that's when Instagram and Facebook instituted or implemented their stories. There were never stories before, but that was the answer to TikTok, or excuse me, to Snapchat. And so once those platforms integrated stories, it essentially cut Snapchat off at the legs. At the knees, that's the saying, cut them off at the knees. So it'll be really interesting to see how those two platforms integrating short form vertical video, or if it affects TikTok. I'd rather fight Johnson. Yeah, getting in a fight with CD Deuce, probably better chance of getting in a fight with Trevor Panic, yeah. Craig Duga, we are, a month out. Man, it feels so good not to have the circus show known as Edo at the head of the ship. Hashtag stay blessed. It is very refreshing, Craig, no doubt. Armstrong Grappling, the Mississippi State sports shortstop, who was drafted 3 picks ahead of Carter Young, signed for $125K. Young gets drafted 3 picks later, signs for $1.3 million. Didn't see that coming. Exactly. Someone asked me on AFR yesterday, if that was you didn't want to come to LSU, the competition type thing. I said, no, he got $1.3 million type thing. So to keep in mind, so slot values for this draft, 1.3 million. I know I've explained this before, but every team gets a draft pool of money that they can spend on their picks, and that's all associated with slot values in the top 10 rounds. Sometimes what you'll see is teams take a player in later rounds just to take a flyer to see if the money works out to where they can offer them over slot later. 1.35 million is associated. So the slot value for the 56th pick in the draft was $1.341 million. So the 56th pick, that's in round 2, $1.34 million. Carter Young went in round 17 and got $1.35 million. Y'all, I mean, they basically paid him like a second round pick. So he was like, okay. Rapid batches, screw Facebook and all their forms of social media. I'll come here to YouTube ever so often, but that's about it. Alex Barnes, I might be homesick from work, but at least I get to catch morning scone. Sorry you're not feeling well, Alex, but glad to see you here. Spurge, let's see, Rapid Batches. Anybody want a cool new show to watch? Check out Billy the Kid on Prime. Okay, shout out. Robbie White, what's good? Matt, have you ever made the Omaha trip before? If you make it this year, I'll buy you a pint at the old mattress factory. I have, Robbie. Went in 2000, and I've often said it's one of the best weeks of my life. It was me, my dad, my brother Brian, and my buddy Ben, who has since passed. And we spent the entire week in Omaha. My dad at the time was working for Lamar Billboard Company, and they had an Omaha office. So we stayed with the family who was the manager of the Omaha office. And every morning we would wake up, we would go to Rosenblatt. My dad would go to the office, and we were the first ones at the right field gate at general seating at the time. Hey, babe. We would be the first ones at the gate every day, and we would sit in the front row in right field for every game. We saw every game of the entire College World Series. It was, and then of course LSU won the whole thing. It was so much fun. So I've not been yet to TD Ameritrade, and would love to go. So much of getting up there in June will work. Send us, right? Because I still have to do shows. Okay. All right, babe. Have a good day. So much of that is we still have to work and we still have to do shows. So, if we ever could make it work, it'd be awesome. I'd love to go again. I'd love to go see the new park. Edward O. got the crabs. Good morning, Matthew. What's good? When is Ricky Collins going to tell you? I have no idea. I have no insight. I have no breaking news there on that. But Ricky Collins decommitting from Purdue, I think, is all of the crystal balls, all the people who follow that stuff are all saying he's picking LSU, and it makes sense. I mean, LSU took their shot at Rashada and Dante Moore, some of the big time national guys. So now you sort of narrow your focus and say, let's get the kid in Baton Rouge, who's a really good player. And I don't think that that's settling. I would love to see that kid end up at LSU. Craig Dugal, what are the odds we get a slap on the wrist for basketball? Not very good. As much as I had Will Wade blinders, it seems the pieces are in place to continue to compete in the SEC instead of being an afterthought. Craig, I'll tell you this, man. I think you also have to be realistic with this squad. There are teams in the league that have recruited at an exceptionally high level. Kentucky, Auburn, Tennessee. These programs are way, way better than LSU right now. Program top to bottom and roster. I will continue to maintain that I think Adam Miller is the big wild card for LSU because we haven't seen him play. If Adam Miller becomes a an 18-9 guy every night, then the complexion of the season changes. But we don't know if he will. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. I do think Matt McMahon will win at LSU. I love his approach, his effort, intensity, all that sort of stuff. I just don't I think this roster, provided they don't get sanctions before March Madness, I think this roster is a bubble team, and would love to see them get in the big dance. It would be phenomenal. But I also want to put some context around it, Craig. You went from losing all 13 scholarship players. You had 0 scholarship players. To building up this roster to where we're even talking about a bubble team is incredible. I would have thought that this year for LSU would have looked like the last year of Johnny Jones when they won 2 conference games. I mean, that's when you consider you lost every scholarship player, new coach, sanctions coming, all of that around. The fact that I could even say this roster is a realistic bubble team is pretty incredible. Really, it is. So, but I don't think it'll be long, Craig. I mean, depending on what the sanctions are, I don't think it'll be long before they're back competing in the SEC. Rapid batches, they should have stood by Will Wade, but oh well. I mean, look, the problem I have rapid batches is that they should have made the decision in 2019. If you're going to fire him, but again, that wasn't Scott Woodward, that was Joe Oliva. Their problem was they weren't decisive, so they allowed that thing to just linger for 3 years. So, Eric Wilderwater, if Mathieu doesn't play, is that enough to move you off your 10-7 prediction? No, it's not, Eric. I don't know that I would alter a win-loss prediction based on a player in the secondary. I think the only position that necessarily would alter a win-loss projection is quarterback. But I think realistically, what it does, again, this is hypothetical, but I'll answer it. Look at the divisional round, the AFC Championship game, with the Chiefs and the Bengals. The Chiefs, people forget, the Chiefs were dominating that football game. And Tyron went out with a concussion, and the entire game flipped at that point. So that's where I worry about it, like an emotional leader, savvy veteran, great player. And it also allows you to have Tyron and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson on the field at the same time. There's going to be a game or games where that matters, So I'll tell you, Eric, the thing that would affect my prediction more is the other news yesterday, which is Deshaun Watson only getting 6 games. Because that means now that when the Saints go to Cleveland in Week 16, they're going to face Deshaun Watson. If the Saints were facing Jacoby Brissett Week 16 in Cleveland, I would take a Sharpie today and scribble a W. Deshaun Watson there, not so much. Larry Garner, good morning. Jason Mobile, yesterday you mentioned the NIL podcast with a coach to be named. Is this your way of telling us you and Coach O are buddies now? No. By the way, it should be live right now. Roster, y'all check it out, please. Rosters to Riches. Jonathan Pixley from Matchpoint approached Guarantee, which now owns Drop Biscuit Studios, about doing an NIL podcast. He asked me if I'd be willing to sort of host it. So we're going to record it on Mondays, drop it on Tuesdays. And so we recorded the first episode yesterday, and it's a little bit of a dip in the toe in the water, kind of a catch up on the first year of NIL type pod. But we're going to have a lot of great guests, both NIL athletes and business owners every week moving forward. Do a lot of Q&A. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. But yeah, what I mentioned is, so we've already started to line up a lot of the folks who are interested in being guests, and one of them is a former LSU head coach who has expressed interest in coming on. And it's not at Ogeron. Greg, I saw Matt and Ed eating at Rufino's last night. Don't let him fool you. No, that's not a thing. You know what's funny though? We did see. So Eric and I, like y'all know, Rufino's is our place. We went to Rufino's one time, and there was maybe 4 couples, about 8 of us, and Ogeron was there with his sons, with his twin boys, and I guess it was Tyler and one of the twins. Because I guess Cody was still playing to me. I don't remember. Anyway, it was 2 of his sons, and they sat at the table right next to us, and we're actually very cordial. Not that needs to be commended, but y'all forget. I mean, I was very, very, very complimentary in 2019. How could you not be? They had the greatest season ever. That's the thing people forget. Like when someone deserves praise, I'll get it. When they deserves criticism, I'll give that as well. I think Ed was okay with me whenever I was complimentary, and not okay with me when I wasn't. I was just not more often than I was. Brian Kelly has assembled a very impressive staff who'll be the first to leave and win. Coordinators are usually the first to get promoted. So I'll tell you Matt House, maybe Jamar Kane, Brad Davis has already been an interim head coach, likely head coach again. Let's see, Cody Cabedo, morning from DFW. Given Collins' statement, seems like LSU strongly need to land the services. I would agree with that. Oh man, y'all crazy. Let's see, Brian. Okay, I think we have enough rain for a while, but rain every day. But you know what? You know what rain is great for when you're in the roofing business.
When you need a roof, call someone you know. Scone and Ontario.
All you need is Hudco.
Call Hudco Roofing.
364.
1007.
Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Thavanka De Silva, good morning. In all seriousness, though, I hope everybody is safe and everybody's okay. But if you do have roofing issues, give us a shout. We have done just incredible business over the last year. To see the growth has been awesome. So if we can give you a free, no obligation roofing inspection, we'd love to do that. Hudco is pinned in the link. The Hudco link is pinned in the comments. So just tap the link, fill out the form, or email me. You can always email me directly, matt@hudcoroofing.com. Thomas Bergeron, other than quarterback, what position battles are you looking forward to seeing in fall practice? Offensive line. I'm fascinated to see who ends up being this. I can tell you today, I'm confident in one spot, and that's Will Campbell will be your left tackle. And when you're talking about a true freshman starting a left tackle, like that's also a question mark. So I could not tell you that I'm certain on any of the other 4 spots. Chandler Watts, why is he missing? Haven't kept up. Talking about Tyron. Yeah, so we don't know. He was excused by the Saints at the start of camp. They said he was dealing with a personal matter, and he's been absent. now going into the second week of camp. But also the more concerning thing is that he deleted everything relating to the Saints from his Instagram over the weekend, which is why a lot of people flipped out. Kirk, you had a connection to Omaha all these years, Matt. I know, Kirk, but it was more work. I mean, work hasn't sent me there. I mean, when I went in 2000, it was I had just graduated high school, so it was the summer before I left for college. So I had nothing going on. Glenn Thomas, good morning, Matt. LSU football is looking better. The running back room is stacked. I think they'll be good there this year for sure. I'm very excited to see John Emery. I'm very, very hopeful for John that this is a really good breakout season for him. Chase Pellegrin, it's called being honest. Some people can't handle the truth. I'm guessing you're talking about it. Yes. That's true. Look, I mean, that's Chase. I say this often, so if you've heard me say it before, I apologize. But the worst part about being in the opinion media is you have to give opinions. Because invariably, with every opinion you give, you're going to piss off somebody. It's just the nature of the business. Like, somebody is not going to like what you have to say every time you give an opinion. And that's okay. I just don't care if you like me or not or agree with me or not. It just, it doesn't keep me up at night. So it's a job. I give opinions. I don't internalize it. And you're on to the next. Here comes the rain. Wow. But the only thing, this is why I've been able to have success and longevity and all this stuff, is because I'm honest. I'm honest, whether you agree or disagree, like it, don't like, fundamentally that if you ever listen to me, that I'm never going to BS you. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Are we back on the flushable wipes? Rapid batches, maybe the newer wipes are flushable. Are you conceding now, rapid batches? Let's see. Taylor Barstool has a line out for the LSU games against Florida State, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. Yeah, a lot of the games are out. All within 3.5 on the spread. I mean, Taylor, I've been saying that all off season. I mean, that's LSU will be favored in their 3 non-conference games that are the layups. They'll be an underdog against Bama, a heavy underdog. Every other game is a toss-up. Is going to be within a field goal one way or the other. So that's why I've said, look, you're going to lose to Bama. You're going to win your non-conference games. I think they beat Florida State and New Orleans. Split the difference, you're 8-4. You're 4-4 in the league. You win your 4 non-conference games, you're 8-4. That's basically how I've arrived at where I've arrived. You were just playing a ton of coin flip games. Robbie White, Matt, I'm telling everyone around the office you said Collins to LSU is a done deal. Thanks for the breaking news and putting your reputation on the line with this inside news. You see, the good thing though, Robbie, is you can tell everyone in the office that, but I have receipts. Whenever everything you say is recorded, I always have receipts. It would be very easy for me to clip myself saying the exact opposite and then blast it out there. And target your audience. I run a targeted ad specifically at your office. Let's see. I have nothing constructive or sports related to contribute, Matt, but I'm here. I'm glad that you are. Trivia, the flushable wipes, a gift from God himself. Rapid Batch did not conceding, but I haven't tried the new one, so I can't say. Wait, weren't you the one who was so adamant last week that they don't work, like that they're not flushable? Bob Dupuy, good morning. Jason Austin, hope we can get the 5-star receiver from Calicut. Yeah, Shelton Sampson, I think that, from all accounts, that seems like that is going to happen, that he'll pick LSU on Saturday. Rode, you will probably need to hit the portal one more time for some middle infield depth. Yeah, Rode, the only way you can do that is if you get a veteran, a graduate. Remember, the portal is closed to be immediately eligible this coming year. So unless if that transfer player is a graduate, then you can't add a transfer at this point. I'm sincerely not worried about it. I don't know also that a player would come here just with the idea of being a depth option. Normally if you're going to get a transfer, it's because they're going to want to come in and play. I'll tell you, I think you have hang on, sorry. So I think you have enough numbers on the infield. Trey Morgan, Tommy White, Gavin Dugas can all play first base. They're going to train Dugas at second a lot this offseason. And he may end up being your starter there. Thompson and Guidry, if that happens, or the left side of your infield, or Thompson and Guidry are your middle infield, you play Tommy White at third. Paul Skeens can play first as well. If you want to put Skeens at first, Morgan in left, White at third. The point is, you have options. You don't have as many as you would have if Carter Young were here, or if Carter Young and Jack Pineda were here. But the reason that you signed them all and you oversigned was to make sure that you gave yourself options if you lost players. So, Peter said the HUD code jingle needs to be updated with the area code in it. That's actually true, Peter, because we do service the entire state. And there is a 318 number as well for the North Louisiana office. But, yeah. Yeah, you're right, Trivia. Rapping Batches was going to war against the Wipes. He was the other day. And now he has really softened his stance. Whether he wants to admit it or not, remember, there are receipts. We could go back and look that stuff up. All right, I think we are just about done. Just about done. All right, y'all have an awesome day. Excuse me. Smash the like button. YouTube, smash that like button. 82 watching, 21 likes. We could do better than that. Just take a quick second, smash the like button. If you're new, please subscribe. Hit the red subscribe button on the Matt Moscona channel. It's totally free. It just means our stuff posts in your feed. Facebook, please like the Matt Moscona page and share the post. We appreciate that as well. Hey, before you go, two things that I would really appreciate. Number one, LSU Daily is live, as I told y'all. I've committed to recording it in the evening and dropping it at 6 a.m. So LSU Daily is live. And Rosters to Riches. Would really, really, really appreciate it if you go to your favorite podcast app and subscribe to Rosters. Rosters to Riches. T.O. Rosters to Riches. It's I'll shoot out a link on the text platform. How about that? If you don't follow my text platform, save that number in your phone, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Just go save that number in your phone, 225-396-4400. Shoot a text, just say, hey, what up? And it'll send you one automated reply for you to say, hey, it's me. Say, hey, it's me. It's one automated reply. And then after that, everything is me. And I'll shoot the link for Rosters to Riches. So would love feedback on that as well. It's the first episode we've done. And so it's going to be very much like a feeling out to figure what direction we go and what works and doesn't. So would love feedback on it also. So anyway, okay, y'all have an awesome day. Appreciate y'all very much for being here. Stay dry if you're here in this rainy weather. And we'll see you for AFR 3. Deuces.